Good evening, Scotland. Good evening, social media land. I hope you're well. It is Friday, the 4th of October, 2024. Welcome to Saorsa Live. We are streaming across Facebook, not Facebook tonight, YouTube and TikTok tonight. So please take the time to like and share across all these platforms. If we lose the stream for any reason, please head to the one that you're not watching from just now and interact in that chat there. We'll also be recording the live tonight and all the comments as well to ensure the security and integrity of tonight's stream. So tonight on the episode of Saorsa Live, we're tackling some of the most critical questions surrounding Scottish independence. We'll explore why so many Scots continue to fight for independence and the tangible benefits it could bring to our nation. We will also ask the question, do we truly live in a union of equals? Or is that just an illusion that we've been led to believe? Finally, we will also examine the psychology behind why some Scots remain Unionists, resisting the move towards self-determination. After we have gone through basically all the content that we delivered in this week's videos over on TikTok and on YouTube, we're going to discuss the open letters that I've written to the leadership across all the political entities that represent the independence movement. Now, these letters they're not going to win me any friends and may actually even lose me some allies in the process of speaking my mind, but they are the truths that need to be said. I claim not to have the answers to victory, and I expect criticism and hatred from my brothers and sisters in arms, but I'm not here to win any popularity contest. I'm here to fight for the self-determination of my countrymen and the independence of my nation, and I'm willing to break a few hearts and spear a few as well if necessary to do so. But by the end of tonight's live stream, you find yourself not wanting to listen to me again. You may point your finger and cry traitor, but the truth that our fight is a national cause and not a political policy has to be made clear and understood. Our cause has to harness the power of politics, not bow to the hegemony that is presented across the whole field. There you have it, that's tonight's show. And basically, before we begin, let me play this important message. Start our lives with an important reminder that we are fighting one of the world's greatest propaganda machines, the British state and their right-wing oligarch-run media. To combat this, we ask that you always follow, like and share, and comment positively across all social media platforms on any of your favourite Scottish independence creators and commentators. By doing this, you help to spread the word of our cause and manipulate social media algorithms to benefit our struggle. So please, for now, like and share this live stream, and if you haven't already, follow this account. Thank you. Right then, here we go. That's us. Let's have a quick look to see who's in the chat. I saw Robert. Hi Robert, how are you? Watching from YouTube land. There's Mr. Aquarius, our latest member in the Discord, and Henry across, and Andrew as well, all over in YouTube. Hi, and Neil, glad to have you here tonight, my friend. And let's have a wee look just now across in TikTok land. Where are we there? Oh, there's Kareem. Hi Kareem. Nadia. And there's Tam. Ken, Irish Warrior, glad that you're here, my friend. It's nice to have you interacting with us. And this is great. We've got about, would you believe, 19 people across in YouTube land and 12 people across here in TikTok land. That's more than I've ever had at the start of any stream. So listen, thank you very much, everybody, for coming to watch tonight. And also thank you, everybody, for following. If you've not already followed on the YouTube, we're only like 14 people away, I believe, from getting up to 500 subscribers. So if you've not followed the YouTube channel, please go and do that, because the more people that follow that, the more chance we have of getting our message out, which is really good. Okay, good. Right, so we've got 3 segments to get through tonight, each with their own tiny little 1-minute video, like a little jingle to break it up so you're not listening to my dulcet tones all night. So we're going to start with segment 1, which is why do we fight for independence and what are the benefits? I've kind of put that into both. Okay, so for over 3 centuries, Scotland has been part of the United Kingdom, but the question of independence has remained ever present. At the heart of the fight for independence lies the desire for sovereignty, the ability for the Scottish people to fully control their own future. Currently, Scotland lacks full authority over vital areas like foreign policy and defence and macroeconomic decisions. These powers lie with Westminster, not Holyrood. This isn't just about the technicalities of political power, it's about self-determination, the fundamental right of a nation to make decisions that directly affect its people. Independence would give Scotland full control of these critical areas. Decisions about foreign policy, national security, trade agreements and economic direction, they would be made here by the people elected to serve Scotland and not serve the rest of the UK. The autonomy means that Scotland could align its policies with its own values, its economic realities and the aspirations of its people, instead of relying on decisions made in a government that often doesn't represent the political will of the Scottish electorate. Economically, the case for independence is equally compelling. Scotland is rich in natural resources, oil, gas, renewable energy and more. Yet much of the wealth generated from these industries flow right down to the UK Treasury, and Scotland receives back only a portion of what it contributes. Under independence, Scotland would retain the full value of its resources and reinvest those revenues directly into our economy. This means more funding for public services, infrastructure and social programmes, all designed to address the specific needs of the Scottish people. Fiscal autonomy is another key benefit of independence. Without the constraints of a UK-wide fiscal policies, Scotland could tailor tax policies to encourage local business growth, support innovation in key industries and ensure that tax revenues are spent in a way that reflects the priorities of Scottish society. Scotland would no longer have to follow the economic measures designed for the needs of England, which often don't suit Scotland's specific circumstances. Moreover, independence would allow Scotland to escape the austerity measures that have been imposed by Westminster, especially during the times of economic downturn. These austerity policies have led to significant cuts in public services, particularly in healthcare and education. By regaining control over its own economy, Scotland could shift its focus towards public investment and social welfare, ensuring that essential services are well funded and tailored to the needs of the population. Beyond economic considerations, the fight for independence is about identity as well. Scotland has a long, distinct history with its own legal system, education structure and cultural heritage. Independence would give Scotland the opportunity to fully express its national identity on the global stage, free from the influence of government that prioritises broader UK interests. Brexit highlighted the democratic deficit that exists within the Union. 2016, 62% of Scots voted to remain in the EU, yet Scotland was pulled out against its will due to the overall UK vote. This event intensified calls for independence as many Scots felt their future in the EU had been sacrificed by the decisions made elsewhere. Independence would give Scotland the opportunity to rejoin the EU, restoring the benefits of membership, such as access to the single market and freedom of movement, vital elements for our economy and society. The benefits of independence are clear. Political sovereignty. What is going on? I'm getting messages. Hold on. Political sovereignty and economic strength are the ability to fully embrace and express our Scottish identity. But the real question is, can we afford to express our Scottish identity? Can we really not fight for independence? Now let me ask you the following questions for discussion. How would Scotland's economy and society benefit from having full control over its own resources and taxation policies? Think about that for a minute. And what impact would Scotland's independence have on the national, political and cultural identity? We'll come and have a wee chat about those in just a second.
Scotland's fight for independence is about reclaiming control over our future. Right now, critical decisions about our economy, defence, and international relationships are made in Westminster, where Scottish voices often go unheard. Independence means self-determination, allowing us to use our wealth from resources like oil and renewable energy to invest in public services, infrastructure, and the well-being of Scots. We can develop policies that align with our values, free from the economic constraints and austerity measures imposed by Westminster. Brexit showed us the democratic deficit we face, with Scotland being dragged out of the EU against our will. With independence, we could rejoin the EU and restore the benefits that matter most to our people. Independence is about more than governance. It's about sovereignty, economic empowerment, and securing a future where Scotland thrives on its own terms.
Okay, so the whole point of these videos this week have been clearly about encouraging people that were on the fence. Okay, I'm preaching to the converted just now, and that's really cool. But it means that we can take away the stuff that we've made this week and, put it out on your Facebooks, put it on your Twitters to people that may still not understand the benefits of independence. I think that's quite important. One of the messages I just got there were from Kareem. Kareem, you have me on your big telly. That's thoroughly embarrassing, but thank you very much for doing that. That's quite funny. I have to laugh at that. But yeah, so I asked just a second ago, how would Scotland's economy and society benefit from having full control over its resources and taxation policies? It would benefit simply by becoming a normal independent nation like every other country in the world. That's it. We could spend what we want. We could borrow money as a result of that and reinvest it into our infrastructure. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever that we're not doing that. Let's have a quick look in the side chats just now. I've got them both on the one screen tonight, so I'm not looking backwards and forwards, which makes a difference. Okay. There's Liv as well. Hi Liv, how are you? Good chat going on there. Everybody's so friendly in the chat, it's really nice. One of the things I didn't mention in segment 1 there as well was the fact that with independence we would contain our own broadcasting rights, our own cultural rights. Right now we don't have the ability to do that. Think about it, BBC Scotland, they don't even turn around and broadcast the news properly to us about what's truly happening. So broadcasting as a whole, that whole cultural thing with broadcasting is truly, truly important. Okay, so I've got some great moderators in tonight. Guys, if I miss any questions, please take a note of the questions and send me a message on WhatsApp if somebody asks a question, and we'll get that at the end of the next segment as well just now. Okay, because we're going to go straight on to number 2, because the very last thing tonight is probably the most interesting, which is about my open letters to the independence political entities as a whole. Okay, so segment 2 just now is 1 wee second just now. Here comes a message. All right, you're watching it on a big telly as well, right? Okay, I need to stop getting these pictures of me on people's big tellies because it's thoroughly embarrassing. I hope it's high definition so you can actually see all my ugly spots. All right, and let's just say that. Right, so next little bit is asking a question. Do we live in a union of equals? So I'm going to ask you all that just now. All right, do we live in a union of equals? You guys, most of the people in here are pro-independence. You're, all about, INDY and campaigning for independence. I know that you all think that we don't live in a union of equals. Right now, there's a lot of people that don't understand that, and this is what this is about. This here and the videos that I made, the video I made about living in a union of equals this week, which is on both TikTok and YouTube, okay, are there for you to share and use. Please do that, because I try to make it the message that I put forward like in an everyman sort of way, so anybody can pick it up and go, that's a point. Right now, when you share things, it's just like what I said with the message at the top. When you share and like that, it does great things. It puts the message out there, but you just don't know who's going to be listening to that. It might be somebody that thinks, hey, wait a minute, that's pretty good, I like that. And then they might just go mental and change the whole face of our movement, and all of a sudden we're independent. That's why we keep making stuff. That's why we keep pushing forward digitally as activists all the time. All right, so let's do that just now. Okie dokie. Right, so do we actually live in a union of equals? Well, the United Kingdom is often described as a voluntary union of equals, but is that truly the case? When you examine the current dynamics between Scotland and the rest of the UK, the idea of equality within the Union becomes questionable. The UK Supreme Court has ruled that Scotland cannot hold another independence referendum without the consent. Westminster. I'm not even going to go there, right? This ruling clearly challenges the notion of an equal partnership. If Scotland as a nation, as a country, has to seek permission from another government to decide its own future, can we really call this a voluntary union? This was further demonstrated during Brexit. Again, I'll be using Brexit as an example many times, we were told in 2014 that staying in the UK was the best way to secure our membership with the EU. Yet, 2 years later, Scotland was forced out of the EU despite us all voting for it. Well, for 62%. Now listen, about the EU, I get it, some people don't like it, right? But 62% of people wanted to remain, and Brexit's been an utter disaster for Scotland, okay? We can talk about this rejoining afterwards, maybe with EFTA first and then full membership. For me, EFTA's the right route to begin with to allow us to trade. But that's a whole other life, okay? Regardless, that whole us voting 62% illustrates a democratic imbalance at the core of the Union. Scotland's political will can be overruled by decisions made elsewhere, primarily driven by the larger population. That's just insane. Just had a flicker on my screen there. Can you guys still see me okay, yeah? Right, sorry, I think something weird has just happened. Bear with me for a second. I'm just going to quickly check something. There's weird shit going on. My computer screens are flickering. I hope you can you all still hear me okay? Chat disconnected, please wait while we reconnect. Right, successfully corrected. Right, you're good here, Tam, thank you. Now all my screens just went totally blank. Totally blank there. So give me a second just now because I need to reboot one wee thing. Hold on. That was weird as hell, by the way. I have never ever experienced that before. Right, give me a sec. Apologies for this now. Like basically what happened there as well, Chrome went down and my other browser went down at the same time. You think I'm getting too close to the bone with people? I think I'm getting hacked. Nah. I've only got 5. You're okay there on YouTube, Barry, thank you. Everything okay on TikTok land? That Mr. Miller joined as well, they're brilliant. Listen, let's have a quick look here just now. Nope, I'm getting flickers left, right and centre. Hold on a second. So that browser is not working whatsoever. Give me a second, I'm going to just quickly bring up my notes on my phone instead. This is weird as hell. I've never ever had this happen to me whatsoever before. Where are we? There we go. Good job I keep my notes on here as well. Second backup. Apologies for this. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute please while I just quickly check all my connections because I do not want to lose this stream as a whole. Most peculiar things ever. Right, okay. Just come off that. And here we go. No, that's weird. All my notes just went down. My internet also flickered on my router. And both screens went totally blank. Totally blank. Weird as hell. Weird as hell. Okay, so where were we? Right, so we're talking about the imbalance of political power and whether Scotland is a union of equals or not. So I'll put my phone up there with my notes instead, which is great. Okay, right, so the imbalance that we experience extends beyond political decisions. It's economic too. Scotland contributes vast wealth to the UK through its natural resources, yet decisions about how that wealth is managed are made by a government that doesn't prioritise our needs. Our resources, our economy and our future are often directed by policies crafted for the broader UK leaving Scotland's specific interests unrepresented. The lack of fiscal autonomy means that Scotland often is forced to follow economic policies that cater for the needs of England. With independence, Scotland would have the power to create its own economic policies, tailored to the industries, its workforce, and our own economic priorities. Independence would allow us to retain the wealth we generate and invest it directly into our communities and public services, rather than watching it flow south. The concept of a voluntary union implies that all nations within the union have the freedom to choose their future. But with Scotland being denied the right to hold a referendum without Westminster's permission, the idea of equality within the UK begins to crumble. So, are we truly equals in this union, or is the idea of equality within the UK merely an illusion? Just something to think about.
The idea that the UK is a voluntary union of equals doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Scotland is bound by decisions made in Westminster, unable to hold an independence referendum without their permission. We are told we are equal partners.